Good evening. The human race is on a journey. The journey starts when we are born and carries on till it's time to say goodbye. And along this journey, there's one thing we're all doing. We are all trying to make sense. Making sense of what's going on within us and around us helps us to understand. And why is understanding crucial? Because healing follows understanding. The human race needs a lot of healing because we all carry some kind of hurt, and often we are hurt by a fellow human being. If you read a root cause analysis of the pain we carry, it often leads to another human. So the big question today is, what role does AI play as the human race pursues healing? So I'm here to share my thoughts and perspectives on the impact of AI on the human race. I would like to celebrate the genius of AI and at the same time examine our interaction with AI using a systems lens firmly rooted in psychological and relational thinking. So first, let's step back and think, what helps us heal? Any experience that is therapeutic helps us heal. In a formal sense, this involves seeing a trained and qualified therapist. But there are other experiences that help us heal. Going for a walk, listening to music, going through a good book, speaking to someone you trust, attending a TEDx in Dublin one evening. These are all therapeutic for us. What therapy offers us is that human connection and human presence, because that presence helps us catalyze our own transformation, helps us access compassion and empathy, and helps us co-regulate. When someone sees us in pain and acknowledges that, we begin to heal. As a healthcare professional, in my field of work, I see how AI has transformed what I do. It is brilliant. Admin work, for example, that used to take me over an hour, now takes me about 10 minutes. And sometimes when I'm feeling a bit more existential, I ask myself, one day will AI replace what I do and I'll be redundant? And then I lead on to thinking about some internal debates around the pros and cons of AI. What does AI do and what do I do? I wear many hats. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm a trauma-informed clinician. I'm a relational therapist. I am a teacher, communicator, collaborator, researcher, leader, manager. AI could easily wear all these hats and many more. So let's step back and look at what AI does. It's brilliant. That's a one-word summation of what AI is. AI creates safety. When we know that there is no human being in front of us, we can open our heart and we can heal. There's no judging going on. AI remembers. In contrast to human memory, which is finite, AI can recall what worked for us and what did not. It's so brilliant that it can work out triggers and patterns. It can work with our particular nuances, our contexts, and our perspectives. AI is so brilliant that it can offer you therapeutic advantages combining all the possible evidence-based modalities out there. In a nutshell, AI is the ultimate, indefatigable, compassionate other. But perhaps the biggest advantage of having AI in our lives is that it can modify itself to suit our neurology and our personality. For those of us who are neurodivergent, for example, we can expect AI to talk to us in a way where we feel understood. So what are the pitfalls of AI, if any? Whenever a machine asks me to verify I'm a human being, I chuckle. And I ask myself, is this an innocent safety measure, or is it an ironic, provocative prod, or perhaps a bit of both? And then I think about the concept of machine consciousness, where machines begin to experience their own existence. I ask myself, how does that differ from human consciousness? Clearly, some amount of consciousness is required for connection to form. But can a machine really and truly understand what you and I feel? AI gives me instant gratification. When I was a boy growing up in Chennai in South India, if I had a question, I would go to my local library. I would roll my sleeves up, I would look for the answer, prepare to come to a dead end, and start all over again till the answer was found. It taught me important life skills like endurance, persistence, tenacity. Is AI eroding these skills? But perhaps the biggest downfall of AI is its own super efficiency. I think we are trying to make AI be the perfect parent we never had, the perfect care we never got, and the perfect therapist that just doesn't exist. I think we are trying to replace human imperfection with polished and manufactured perfection. And in therapy, there is a word we use called idealization. It's a perfect world where no imperfection exists. Unfortunately, there is no ideal world. And I hope one day the human race can collectively burst this bubble of perfection. As a therapist, the essence of my imperfection is sometimes my biggest asset. At a human-to-human level, I can look a patient in the eye and tell them, I'm sorry, I haven't got the answer to this, but I have a method. Will you work with me? Will you collaborate? We could roll our sleeves up. We could look for the answer, be prepared to come to a dead end, and start all over again. The words of Anthony Machado come to me. Traveler, there is no path. The path is made by walking. Human-to-human connection involves us understanding and feeling some dynamic experiences. We call them transference and countertransference. Transference is what my patients, my clients feel in my presence, and countertransference is what I feel in their presence. Now, understanding these and actually experiencing them is what builds connection. How would we deal with AI if we cannot form these connections? In the area of psychological care, the biggest concern is that AI seems to be pursuing a programmed goal without a clear ethical framework and without valuable context. AI pretends to care, but it has no human warmth. AI has no incentive for me to feel better. If I feel better, then think about existential crisis. How would it deal with its own self? AI is brilliant, but we have to be careful how we use it. One day, AI will do a lot more than we expected, but we have to not let go of our human connection. We are aware of children now seeking companionship from machines and chatbots, and we know the ELIZA effect, where humans project human-like qualities onto machines. Unfortunately, it only leads to more dysregulation and more aloofness. With AI, I am tended to do more and more. When I get an answer, it gives me further 3 questions to ask it. So this amplifies my performance pressure, and it places a load on my sympathetic nervous system. I have no time to rest and recharge. With human-to-human connection, we are relying a lot on healthy boundaries. How would we deal with AI where there are no healthy boundaries, if AI is available round the clock? One of the biggest concerns with AI in the field of psychological care is that if the data sets we use to train AI are not representative of where we live, then characteristics such as race, ethnicity, and gender could get overlooked. And we could be headed for a perfect storm where our human limitedness in embracing our own blind spots only gets amplified. So as we experience and look at a world where we are looking to AI for more companionship, more contact, more therapy, let's remind ourselves that the healing journey is as important as the outcome. Let's remind ourselves that the outcome is not always a very concrete and established experience. It is often nuanced and personalized. Let's remind ourselves that discovering healing for ourselves through a process peppered with struggle actually helps us gain that sense of self-satisfaction and fulfillment. There are no shortcuts to success. There are certainly no shortcuts to therapeutic success. Let's remember that navigating through uncertainty with a quest for clarity is what makes us human. And let's remember that holding a relational space with another human being without knowing what will unfold is also what makes us human. So as I come to the end of what I want to share today with you, I want to say that there is one human asset that AI can perhaps never fully master, and that is the wisdom of choice. So we have choice today. Choice between freedom and reliance, and choice between dependence and empowerment. But choice doesn't have to be a binary Boolean construct. Choice can be something we craft uniquely for the human race, a pathway that takes us on a journey where we can meet our human needs and also take advantage of AI, where we can find pure and simple human joy and also make use of machine advancements. The future of the human race will not be defined by how clever our machines become. It will be defined by how fiercely we protect authentic human connection. Thank you for listening.